Just kind of stepping back, looking at the big picture just for a second, if you're coming up with a theology that says God hates people, a certain group of people, automatically you got a problem because that contradicts other scripture like John 3, verse 16, which says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son." So this can't mean what the common Calvinistic interpretation of it presents. And the whole issue is resolved in Luke 14, verse 26, where Jesus demonstrates the biblical meaning of the word hate. He says, "If anyone comes to me and does not hate his own father and mother and children and brothers and sisters and even his own life, he cannot be my disciple." So when Jesus lays out the criteria for discipleship, he says a disciple must be someone who is willing to hate his mother and father. Now, that can't mean emotional hatred, because the fifth commandment is honor your mother and your father. In fact, Jesus, I think it's in Mark 7, criticized the people of his day who were using something called korban to give money to the Lord and not using that money to help their aging parents. And he said, you have a very fine way of setting aside the law of God for your traditions. So this can't mean hate your parents. What it's talking about is choice. In other words, if Jesus says do A and your parents say do B, to qualify to be his disciples, you have to do what he said to do, even when it contradicts your parents. So you have to choose their will over your will. That's what the meaning of hatred is there in Luke 14, verse 26. Now take that same understanding and go back to Malachi chapter 1, verses 2 through 5, which you just read. Jacob have I loved, Esau have I hated. What it's saying is God has chosen Jacob, not Esau, to be the continuation of the line of Israel leading to the Messiah. So it's really a statement about who the Messiah, who the nation of Israel ultimately is going to come through. You know, to be an Israeli, you have to be a physical descendant today of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So when it says, Jacob have I loved, Esau have I hated, God is not saying I hate Esau. He's not saying Esau is doomed from the womb. In fact, there's an argument to be made that perhaps even Esau himself received salvation by faith alone. So it's not dealing with that subject matter at all. The only thing it's really talking about, and you put it back in its context by talking about the borders of Israel, is that God is going to continue the nation of Israel, which will lead to the Messiah, not through the line of Esau, but through the line of Jacob. Why is God doing it that way? Because he's a sovereign God, and he made a decision sovereignly in this regard. And so it has nothing to do with electing one unto salvation and electing another unto damnation. It's a choice. I have rejected Esau's line leading to the Messiah. I have instead chosen Jacob's lineage leading to the Messiah. And you reach that conclusion by coming to a biblical understanding of what the word hatred means, non-choice, not emotional hatred, from Luke 14, verse 26.